made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. Before we dive into this powerful episode, please remember to subscribe to our channels and give us a 5-star rating on iTunes and to continue hustling. This episode is sponsored by Transact Card, Align Life, Neuro Infinity, Imaging Services, Chiro Health USA, Chiro Moguls, Pure Chiro Notes, Titronics, Sherman College of Chiropractic, New Patients in a Box, Life Chiropractic College West, Pro Hockey Chiros, Pro Baseball Chiros, and the IFCO. Let's hustle.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 524 of the Chiro Hustle podcast. I'm your producer, Luke Millette, and here's your host, James Chester.
So today we had the opportunity of interviewing Dr. Ariadna D'Ocon. And if you want to hear how to inspire chiropractic internationally, stay tuned. Welcome back. This is another episode of the Chiro Hustle podcast. It's a big one today. We have Ariadna D'Ocon coming in from Barcelona over there in Europe. So it's really nice to bring you on today. And before we get into this interview and this episode, just want to let everyone know it's 524. We've been going at this, going into our 6th year, and we've been documenting and telling these chiropractic stories just more frequent. And I think it's really important to tell this story. So before we tell your story, I'm going to let everyone know the big why. Why do we do what we do over here at Chiro Hustle? Well, first things first, this is global too. Freedom of speech is important. And in America, that's our First Amendment. So we've never censored anyone that's been on the show, which I think is really, really powerful and important because there's a problem globally with censorship and shadow banning of people that have something important to say. So we have this platform to share the chiropractic truth. And by doing so, we also support medical freedom and family health freedom, which a lot of times people back a couple years ago didn't understand how important that really was. Until now, we actually have to mention these things, and we have to support and protect those things. And then BJ Palmer Sacred Trust, we also protect that with our show. And if you don't know what that means, go to your favorite search engine, look for BJ Palmer Sacred Trust, look for his last words. You're going to learn more about chiropractic than you previously did, guarantee you. And then we also believe in subluxation-based chiropractic. I know I shouldn't have to say this, but it's something that comes up a lot in our profession. And I believe that it's important to stand and tell people why subluxation chiropractic is important. And then last but not least, we believe that when man or woman, the physical gets adjusted, it connects them to man or woman, the spiritual. And that's innate intelligence and universal intelligence. And with all that as the opener, Ariadna, welcome to the show.
Hey, well, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's great to be here.
Yeah, this is an amazing platform to share the chiropractic truth and to share why chiropractic is so powerful. And I know that everybody has a story how they got into chiropractic. So I didn't even ask you yours. I did read your bio that you sent over to me. And I'm really curious to know, how did you decide that chiropractic was the right thing for you?
Well, I knew chiropractic when I was 14 years old, pretty young. I'm a musician and piano player and singer, and I was in the musical school, and I had all this tension in my back, typical from everyone that knows for the first time chiropractic it's about pain, right? I went to the chiropractor in town. It was from South Africa. He's from South Africa, and my parents went sent me there just for pain release. But with the first visit and the great job he did to inspire my parents and myself, he's a vitalistic chiropractor, so he let us know that chiropractic was more about than only pain based and to treat symptoms. So in between 3 adjustments, I had any pain in my back, but he did a great job to inspire them and inspire me, and the importance of getting adjusted regularly. So we trust him, and I started to notice other changes and that rather than only back pain improvement. So it was more concentration, less headaches, more like less nervousness going to the stage. So I started to think about how can be this about the spine, no? So he explained us the big idea, we got it, and then all the family start going to the chiropractor. We were weird, like in the town, going to a chiropractor. Anyone new? In Spain is not really new. Every time is getting more popular, but it was great that my grandma had better digestions and all these improvements and miracles in my family. So I started thinking about I think about studying, but I had this in my mind that I wanted to be a teacher, and like as all of my family, and like musical teacher because of my background. But then when I was 18, my chiropractor said, well, 17, my chiropractor said, would you like to be a chiropractor? I'm super grateful that he asked this, because it inspires me now to all my teenagers and patients to ask this question, because it changed my life, that question. So because I had thought about it, but it was like, oh no, this is super difficult, or I'm not a science person. So yeah, we went to an open day in Barcelona College of Chiropractic, and we fell in love with the message, the energy, the students, all the stories that they were explaining, coming from everywhere in the world, studying in Barcelona. And it was a yes for me. It's also our principal, Adrian Wemban, he said, like, it's not, you don't choose chiropractic chooses you, right? And I knew that I was in the right place, even though my parents didn't speak English. So they had everything translated in the moment. And even though we had this great, well, unbelievable experience. So yes, I started to think more about this, and it was clear for me. And then, sorry, when I was in the first year, they asked us about our mission in life, and I was like only 18. I didn't thought any about these things, but it was also to accompany, to be with people through their health process, and to teach them, well, not to teach, but to inspire them or to guide them about health. And now in the time I realized that it's really matching with my old profession, that I want to be a teacher, right? It's not that we are teaching, but we are guiding our patients to be in love again with their body, and to trust the innate intelligence. So it's like these two things, to help people and to guide people and inspire people, it came together. So it makes sense to keep going.
Yeah, it's a great story that you found that chiropractic adjustments were enhancing your ability to be an effective musician, and because you got the message, then you could be the messenger and share that with your family. And I think that there's nothing greater. I was speaking down in St. Louis several years ago, one of my first speaking opportunities. I spoke down at Logan College of Chiropractic down in St. Louis. And, because of the work that I was doing at the time, I'm still doing it, but early on, my aunt would send me a message and say, hey, I'm going to the chiropractor today because you inspired me with the work that you're doing. And mom went to the chiropractor last week because the work that you're doing inspired us to take better care of ourselves. And, it just takes one person to make that decision, to make a better life for other people and to feel empowered to share that message. So I think it's really, really powerful, the things that you're sharing here today. But I guess the better question for me to ask you is, you're the first doctor in the family. What is it like for you to be a chiropractor and be the first doctor in your family?
For me, it's awesome. It's like I have a responsibility to share all this and to inspire my family. But I am also really grateful to my dads, that like my parents, that they trusted me. Right, it was like a really hard decision to do, like in Spain, and to study, and they support me as I see like things with a lot of clarity, and they also trust me, my gut, my instincts. So they support me to study, then they support me to open my own practice really young, at the age of 24. So for me, it's a responsibility, and also like gift, that I'm giving, also to take like this gratefulness back to them through health, and also to the future generations. So
Yeah, perfect. And that really brings us to the next topic of discussion, is inspiring new graduates and people coming out of chiropractic school. Do you have any messages for them?
for the new graduates, it's just for me, it's really important, the people you surround with. So for me, in the chiropractic school and the studies, was really important of who I was surrounded by. So people that it's positive, people that has the same values and the same philosophy as yours, and also that to be really connected to the chiropractic story, the big idea, the why. So for me, even though it's difficult at the end, because you have lots of exams and things that sometimes that don't make sense, for me it's really important that they have this certainty why they started, and why they are doing what they are doing. So it's like a light that you have, that it's, even though it's difficult, the path, you keep going because of this why. And also to visualize. For me, the power of visualization is incredible. I was visualizing my own practice since first second year in BCC, in the school. So for me, like quantum physics and visualizing, meditating is crucial, to let the attraction law to going through all you want. So people, I think universe brings you what you're ready for, and be careful what you ask, because it gets to you if you're ready. So for me, it's visualizing like the ideal scenario, and to be surrounded by people that it's positive for you, and inspiring.
I love it so much because I've been meditating every day for almost 4 years. And I think the visualization is a little bit different than meditation.
Yeah.
And I think that when people have the vision, usually around the new year, I create this vision board, and I cut things out, and I put words together, and I put images on a piece of cardboard or a piece of poster board. And I create this scenario where I hang it on the wall. I didn't do it this year, but I usually hang it on the wall, and it sits right in front of me when I'm working. And I visualize what I put on that board, and then it's with me. And I think, this year what I did is I went back through every picture I've ever took and every screenshot that I took, and I went through the whole calendar year of what I did. And I went through and I went through I went through and I visualized where I had gone and seen what path I had been on and where I wanted to go now. And I wrote down the things that I loved, the things that I learned from, and the things that, I could do better with. And I think, when people have this type of a visual, it's not so much we don't always do it the same way. Some people listen better and learn.
Yeah.
Some people can close their eyes and have vivid images, and they can see what it all looks like. But some people need to write it down. Some people need to like make a video of themselves talking it to themselves. So I think we can learn different ways on how to like create this vision for ourselves. And many times people just need the outlet to say, yes, I can do that.
And also for me, it's like we have the vision, but without expectations, because the pathway can go round, and it's like not holding the outcome, but just releasing that to the universe, and then it will go how it needs to go. So
Yeah. And I think by doing that, then you can design the practice of your dreams.
yeah.
Yeah. And you can actually you can see how it looks to come in as a new patient. You can see what it looks like to come in and get adjusted. You can see what it's like for all of the nuances of how the notes are taken, to how we answer the phone, to how we collect money, to how we reschedule people, or how we keep ourselves accountable with the appointments that we have, how we partition our energy to make sure that we're eating right, that we're taking care of our bodies, that we're not stressed and overloaded with too much work, that we're able to share that work with our staff. Like, there's a lot that goes into running a practice.
Yes.
So let's talk marketing for a little bit. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So getting new patients. I know that it's not the biggest only concern in the chiropractic world, but over the past 5 years since you've been a chiropractor, what has been some things that you've done that have worked?
Yeah, it's this question. Some people of my environment ask me, because it's like more 95% referral practice for me. So it's people recommending chiropractic, and I have a Instagram and I have social media, but I'm not used to do some ads, like marketing ads. I don't say they are bad, because not everyone has the luck to have a friend to recommend chiropractic. But from now, it worked for me as a referral, internal and external refer based practice. And for me, is and people ask me, how do you get these referrals that are good quality patients to have good conversions? So they start care because of this emotion, like all my family did. So I live it in my own family. So I try to inspire them with my story, my chiropractic story, and also to care about people, really care, genuinely care about them, asking for their family members. It's the referral language, I say, is how you the table talk. It's not about looking for that referral that it seems weird. It's just influencing them that it's normal in this office to get people refer us. So creating that culture of that, doing recommendations of us, it's the norm, it's a normal way. So for me, it's, of course, having as a chiropractor, to have certainty about our message about I can help you, and in the message, right, and you are in the right place, and also to inspire them, so to get checked, to get the family member checked, and it's asking about their family. And well, I have really good memory. It's one thing, weird thing that I have, it's for the details. So I know everyone's stories. People ask me, why, how do you remember of this? And it can seem weird, but it's like really caring about them as if they were family. So you ask about their parents, you ask about their kids. So this is what inspires them to recommend them, but not forcing it, just asking and trusting the universe that someday they will recommend us, or to want to get chiropractic care.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. This episode is sponsored by Transact Card, Align Life, Neuro Infinity, Imaging Services, Chiro Health USA, Chiro Moguls, Pure Chiro Notes, Titronics, Sherman College of Chiropractic, New Patients in a Box, Life Chiropractic College West, Pro Hockey Chiros, Pro Baseball Chiros, and the IFCO. Let's hustle. So referral-based practice, a lot of people that watch our show and got to know me over the years know that I've gone out and I've done hundreds upon hundreds of spinal screenings, which I call scheduling events. And when I get somebody new, that wants to come see the chiropractor and they schedule an appointment with me to come see the chiropractor when I go out and meet them in the public, I say, and just to let you know, you're probably going to be our number one referral source. And we appreciate you letting us earn your business today and coming in to see us. But when you have a good experience, I just want you to know that you're probably going to tell everyone about us.
Mhm.
So get ready for that.
Yeah, that's great. We have like thank you for recommending letters that we send hand by hand. When I did it like digitally, but it seems like it's handwriting. Well, it's my handwriting, and we send it to home also to thank the patient that referred. Also, we do some campaigns in the inside of the practice to encourage these people to refer, like the anniversary of the practice, the Christmas campaign, and all this. And also we have a board with thank you for recommending, and in the reception area, and welcome to the community, and they are matching with the one that recommended. So when you enter to our practice, you see this word, and it's like, oh, this is normal. It's like normalizing the fact that they will talk about you and what you said.
Yeah, and that's just it, is when you can nurture the conversation into a way that makes it the right things to say to each other, then the practice grows.
Mm-hmm.
And we could talk about, Barcelona Football Club all day, or we could talk about the MMA, or we could talk about whatever topic is happening. We could talk about the water, the rain. We could talk about anything. But when you bring the cultural conversation back to chiropractic and you welcome people to understand it better and to invite people in because it's a better quality lifestyle, now we're actually curating the conversation into a direction that is on principle, and it's focused on exactly what's going on at your practice and how you can help more people, because they're going to get bombarded once they leave your clinic or your practice, and they're going to get messages on every television. They're going to get messages on every billboard, every magazine, like everywhere. They're going to get a different message. But when they're at your place, they only get one good message about natural health and chiropractic, and that has to come from you. So if you're diverting from the truth of chiropractic and you're watering it down with other conversations, like, it's not going to get you referrals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
They're going to feel like your friend.
Yeah. For me, it's like as expecting miracles, right? It needs to be a sacred space, the adjusting area, so miracles can happen. And I expect miracles because we saw them in India. I was in a mission trip twice, and it can happen in Barcelona, in the same place. So for me, also, is the energy that we create in the adjusting room, and also, well, the level of certainty and focus that we have, and so not being distracted by other things than chiropractic and our message. So yeah, not have distractions in this area.
What's your favorite technique?
I do a mix of them, like it's Thompson, toggle, SOT, and also, well, I just manually diversified. So yeah, more or less I use these ones.
Yeah, that's great. It's important for me to see, how the practitioner is taking care of people, but also how they take care of themselves. So in the journey of you being the practitioner, what do you do to take care of yourself and stay healthy?
Well, I have a personal trainer to get like all good movement. Also, I like do try to eat healthy and like nurture my body as best as possible. But also for me is also really important what I said before, who I surround with, people that it's inspiring, having mentors, listen to podcasts, reading inspiring books, They also they are pretty much related to personal growth and business. I'm really on this. Sun exposure, of course, get checked, get adjusted regularly, and also be proactive in my health. It's like being congruent and also embracing what is going on in my personal life. But it's more of this,
Yeah.
getting inspired, like good food from the body, and good food for the brain. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's the way to go. And as I've done, nearly 1,200 interviews in the past 5.5 years, I've learned some things. And I've learned that, practitioners, the better they take care of themselves, the more successful they are in practice and the longevity that they have. And as I've done so much networking and gone down so many paths of natural healing, biohacking is really, really something that's popular now.
Yeah.
And I always tell people that chiropractic is one of the original biohacks, next to sunlight, walking on the ground with no shoes on, and breathing. Next in line, chiropractic. After breathing, sunlight, and walking on the ground with no shoes, chiropractic.
Yeah.
and getting checked and adjusted and correcting the vertebral subluxation is something a lot of people just don't understand why. And I always tell people, I've never recommended chiropractic to anyone that had a worse quality of life. And I've never seen anybody that took more pills, potions, and lotions and drugs and surgeries that had a better quality of life. So I said, we might as well try this one over here, because quality of life is something that matters long term. And there could be a certain instance where people have to do something like that, but it's not a lifestyle. Chiropractic is something that people can do from 14 years old, like you, become a professional and become a chiropractor and live that lifestyle until forever. Into infinity.
Yes, and as much I grow as a chiropractor, as much years I have, I'm more radical about all this, about saying that's true, because I understand when you graduate, you want to be liked, and you are trying to be in agreement of everyone. But as much as I realize that as much as I get not older, but grow in my profession, it's I'm more clear, because I'm more certain, and well, it's more powerful, the message.
So got a couple questions left during the interview process, but the future, visualize the future for me. Where is chiropractic going?
For me, I dream and I visualize as chiropractic in Spain as recognized as like that has its own place, because well, we are here, we have legal situations and all this, and I visualize chiropractic being used to be like as a healthcare and quality of life care, and that has its own place, and also that a culture of the people that gets checked, gets adjusted, and it's normal as you go to the dentist or as you brush your teeth to go to a chiropractic to take care of your spine and your nervous system, like as a tool to get to the nervous system. And also, of course, this will impact our communities and humanity. So
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And I think that if people really understood that when they get adjusted by a chiropractor, it frees up their nervous system and it helps with healing and quality of life. If people just understood that and they didn't think it was pain based, chiropractic would be so busy that we wouldn't have enough chiropractors to serve all the people that are looking. So really, we're at this paradigm shift, I believe. Like,
yeah, it's a good time for us, I think. And yeah, we are only 500 chiropractors in Spain, so we need a lot of hands. But I think people is starting to change and to ask different questions as we got more information, and it has had a change, I think. Yeah.
So you became who you are. Your parents trusted you to become a chiropractor and went to chiropractic school, started out practicing 24 years young, and you decided to become who you are based on one chiropractor's guidance to say, I think chiropractic could be a good solution for you. So over this journey, who have been some of your major influences and people that have inspired you to be the practitioner that you are today?
Yeah, for me it's like calling back that it's my mentor that inspired me to study chiropractic, to get, be in love with this profession. Also, Mark Hudson, that I regularly talk with, and he helps me with the business and philosophy, and well, taking all these blockages to be more certain and more who I am, to inspire people. Also, Stu Wittman, I would love to chat with him like for hours, him about loving ourselves, loving humanity, and more personal wise. And also my grandma, that he was a wise woman that introduced me to music, and thanks to her, I knew chiropractic, and well, she inspired me as a strong woman, and it's why I would say.
Yeah, it's really great to recognize people who have made an impact in our lives. It's really special. And to edify people and to see why we are who we are and helped guide our path a little by little, and to acknowledge us and to give us praise and to give us time, so then we can become who we're supposed to be, to where we can give that to more people too. So congratulations on finding great people and learning from past generations like your grandma.
Yeah, thank you.
So rounding up the conversation here today on episode 524, what's a miracle story that you've seen, something that you think might inspire people that listen to the show today?
Well, for me, one of them, it was 4 years, well, 5 years ago, or 4.5. I was in my first mission trip in India. I went to Cairo, Europe, group with Mark Hudson, and I was just graduated, 4 months graduated. So I knew they were miracles in India, but it was like, okay, I'm gonna do my best. And for me, it was that energy, that level of sacred space that it's created in these places, where you don't need the language to understand. It's just sight, love, and doing the adjustment, right? And it was one guy, young, 19 years old, that he was deaf, and he couldn't speak. So I adjust him. He started to move the mouth and do some sounds. The other day, next day, he came back. I did the same, and he was doing some sounds. And then I understood the unconditional service, right? It's like, now I knew something improved because he came back, but we have touched so many spines, so many lives, that we will never know if they improve, they had a miracle case or not. But we don't need it to. It's not to improve our egos, but to inspire people that is listening. I went back to India this past November, and this guy came to look for me, and he was speaking and hearing. So he said, you remember me? And of course, there's some faces you will never forget in your life, and he was one of them. So yeah, it's a miracle story, but and it's amazing. But my message here is that, of course, miracle stories help us transmit what we do, but it's not, we shouldn't need these miracle stories to do what we do in the level of passion that we do, even though they help us when we are a little bit off the path. But yeah, for me, was my first India mission trip was the deciding moment of opening my practice, and to be myself, because in India I was myself, but also to understand what it means unconditional service.
Yeah, it reminds me of the message that sometimes we have to lose ourselves to find ourselves. And BJ Palmer's quote is, "You never know how far reaching something you may say or think today may have an impact on a million of lives tomorrow." And I think that it's so true for this profession is, chiropractic has the ability to create that type of impact just by doing what it does every day.
Yeah, we have this quote in the end of our thank you for referring letter that we do. And we have this quote because, my chiropractor impact all my family or all my community. So people is powerful. So, yeah.
So at the wrap of today's interview, is there anything I didn't ask you that you'd like to share with our audience today?
No, that's great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I thank you so much for coming in and being episode 524. It was a lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great experience. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your story and being so humble and open to, help the future chiropractors and understanding their own path and doing your thing every day. It's really important to just serve and be the chiropractor. So thank you for being the chiropractor.
Thank you.
And if people want to connect with you or learn more about you, where can we send them to?
Yeah, they can find me in social media. It's Instagram or Facebook, D'Ocon Chiropractica, like my surname, and chiropractic in Spanish, so chiropractica. And they can send me a private message, and I will be happy to share and to get in touch with them.
Great. Well, thank you for being on with us today, and have a great evening over in Barcelona.
Thank you. I'm going to sing in my choir now because I do my both passions now. I keep doing singing and chiropractic. So,
well, enjoy your evening of singing, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.
Yes, thank you. It was a pleasure.
All right. Well, I'll close out by telling everyone, you're just one story away. Keep hustling. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Chiro Hustle. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.